On this planet, we have 7 continents floating across a big blue ocean. That's 195 countries spread out, billions of lives in motion. That's around 4,416 cities spread across the nations. So even beginning to feel self-centered would almost be a fixation. And so the chances of 2 people finding each other and conceiving you are surely the opposite to infinite, but still look at you. You are here today. Your existence is definite. And so birth becomes a miracle. You are a miracle. But of course, we don't realize what it took for us to get here, so our minds drift and our purpose becomes a little unclear. Eventually, you may get hurt and you feel a bit of heart becoming, so you start living your life like the world owes you something. Your character becomes a combination of ignorance and ego, and they're both just as harmful as each other, so here we go. Now you think, I have a mind and a body of my own. I am on my pinnacle because I am 16 years old and I am invincible. And if you can already relate to the feel, it's about to get a whole lot real. And so I drink until I black out. I'm reckless without a doubt. I try to keep low key, so I take that pill that a stranger sold me. I sniffed that bottle and I snorted that line. I'm 16 years old, my body is fine. I smoked that joint until my legs were numb. I laughed so hard as I put that tab on my tongue. I used to drive in cars with boys with our eyes closed. How we even stayed alive, God knows. You see, even after losing life, I still didn't appreciate it. I lived in such a way that every day I thought, am I dead yet? I was miserable. But I'll deny that because I'm 16 years old and I am invincible. What makes you so invincible? I did those things and somehow I stumbled down this one street called Mercy, where I met a God that knew my name and was waiting just to save me. I know what the world says about you. They blame your parents, your upbringing, probably MTV too. But what if I told you that the things that they speak into your life is not your destiny, because I know a God that loves us so relentlessly. I mean, sure, we can receive Christ later in life and He can transform our sorrows. But let me ask you this, how ignorant of us to think that we have tomorrow. Because even though you feel invincible, death is inevitable. You know, the other day I was praying for a revival in our youth, and to whatever plan God had, I was ready to agree. Then He let me feel the weight of our broken city as I wept, and He whispered, now imagine if they knew me. That day I realized why I'm alive. I'm not living in vain. I didn't survive my youth so that I could complain. All this stuff about unconditional love, man, I found out that it's true. So I just want to show you that street called Mercy that I walked through. And if you've never had someone speak life into your circumstance, you have now, because whatever stuff you've got going on, God's going to use that somehow. And you'll reach a time when you'll still feel for your past, but your heart is made anew. And that will only be one of your breakthroughs. But don't you dare be condemned by the shame of your past, because revelations like this aren't meant to be fast. And just remember that your life is your biggest testimony. And so that mess of yours, that's your survival story.